Welcome to the Timeline course. I'm your host, Claire Chancellor, and today we're going to explore past lives using the timeline script. Now, I absolutely love exploring past lives with clients. I find it a really powerful way to dive deep into their soul's journey, to explore who they are, what's their purpose for being here, and to really unpack some of the things that have been getting in the way of what drives their intuition moving forward. However, timeline has the intention to go back to explore the root cause of a problem, like a limiting emotion, and gaining the meaning, the learnings, and the aha to then free up your ability to decide on something new moving forward. So it opens up choice, it opens up possibility. So there is a bit of difference between timeline for past lives and past life regression. I just find that helping a client open up to their soul contracts and where they've been in past lives and to gain that clarity gives them a new perspective on what's possible moving forward. I have used past lives, whether we're talking timeline or past life regression, to help people with fertility problems. They may have lost a baby in a past life and said to themselves, never again will I have another baby. I don't want to feel that pain and that hurt ever again. And they kind of set themselves up with a bit of a soul contract to block their ability to receive a baby. And it's from that limiting decision, that painful moment in their past, and their cellular memory, their unconscious mind holds on to that. So you can use past lives to undo that. You can use past lives to resolve health issues. Recently, I was working with somebody who had leaky gut issues, and I've also used it with like IBS and other autoimmune issues and ADHD and all sorts of different health issues. You can go back to when that limiting emotion or that challenge got created and to be able to create that ripple effect of change. So, like the leaky gut situation, that was all about the client's ability to receive support. And their gut did not want to receive their support. They were so fed up and angry with people misunderstanding them that they were depleting their energy. And we had to go back into past lives to explore where did they lose trust with people. So it's always fascinating. I've used past lives to help people resolve and dissolve money issues. If you've had a past life where you took the vow of poverty, that vow is still playing out until you resolve that soul contract. So it's well and truly fascinating how our limitations are connected to the past. And of course, we have the choice to then free things for our future. So today we're going to explore timeline within past lives. And from the timeline script that we get to the point at the beginning where we ask the client to get in touch with that limiting emotion and trusting the first thing that comes to mind was that first event or root cause of that limiting emotion in this life, in a past life, ancestral, or in the womb. And that gives us some direction on where we're going to take the session. Knowing that we're setting the intention today to explore past lives specifically, I'm going to skip that step and then just ask you to explore a limiting emotion and how many lifetimes ago did you first experience that. Being a group experience here, I am going to also set the intention to explore a limiting emotion of fear. Woo! Not fear of snakes, not fear of spiders, not fear of water. There's other processes to better help with that. What I want you to do before we get started is to think about a fear that you have about maybe the fear of being seen. If you're putting your business out there and, oh gosh, what will people think of me? So that could also be called fear of judgment. A fear of speaking up, again, that's fear of judgment, but fear of speaking your truth, fear of showing up as your authentic self. I want you to think about a fear that you've got that holds you back And we're going to set the intention to go back to past lives to resolve and dissolve that once and for all. Now, I know very strongly, I think this may have been even one that I've solved, that somebody who's got a fear of being seen, let's say somebody's in this lifetime is pursuing being a naturopath and their business is struggling to get that momentum, they may have had a past life where in a witch they were persecuted for having that knowledge about herbs and natural remedies. So they were then hung or burnt at the stake. And so their unconscious mind holds on to that limitation to say, never again. No, never again am I going to let people know that I, have expertise in the healing arts within naturopathy, herbs, and Mother Nature. And so with that, an energetic barrier gets created between you and the people who seek out what you can serve them with. And when you explore past lives and work out, that persecution was a past life, it's no longer operating in this life, then you're not being held down by that heavy energy. And in fact, you're now free to speak your truth, to put yourself out there, to be seen, to say, wow, I can help you. If you want herbs, vitamins, I'm your person. I know lifetimes worth of experience on what can help people come back to that full energetic alignment. So yeah, this one should be good. This should be an interesting experience. So bringing the attention back to you, thinking about what kind of fear have you had about speaking up or being seen or being valued for what you do. And once you've got that, let's set the intention to get started. So just invite you to get comfy, knowing that this time is just for you. Checking in with your body. Where are you holding on to that limiting emotion of that fear? Fear of judgment, fear of being seen, fear of being valued for what you do. Where are you holding on to that? And if you can, maybe even put your hand there on that part of the body. A lot of the time people hold on to fear under their ribs, like around their diaphragm area. So if you're feeling it, that may be where your hand goes, just there on the tummy. And now, checking in with your unconscious mind, are you ready to release this limiting emotion of fear and for you to be totally aware of it? Hopefully you got a yes. And if you got a no, then maybe you want to unpack what's going on, why you would hold on to that limitation. But for those who said yes, checking in with the first time that you experienced this fear, how many lifetimes ago? Just noticing that a number will pop up as I say, how many lifetimes ago did you first experience this fear? Now that now gives us some direction on where we're going back to. So sitting back again, focusing on my voice. Let nothing distract you from my voice. And you may hear sounds or birds chirp or cars, but that won't let you bother you, nor will it distract you from my voice. You will hear and remember every word that I say, and as you focus on the sound of my voice, it becomes the center of your concentration. And you will notice the sound of my voice will make you feel very relaxed. And you will find, as you become more relaxed, that very soon your eyes will want to close over. So whenever this occurs, just allow it to happen. Now I'm going to count from 10 to 1 to help deepen this state. And so on 10, bringing that relaxation down from the top of your head through the scalp muscles, bringing that relaxation down into your jaw. And on 9, noticing how much your body enjoys moving into this relaxed state. Feel yourself going deeper as the relaxation pours down over your shoulders. And on 8, as your mind and heart want to drop down even deeper. On 7, with every breath you take, breathing in that relaxation. And on 6, letting that relaxation go down into your arms, into every cell of your fingers. On 5, so comforting as that trance-like feeling relaxes your abdomen, deeply relaxed. And on 4, pouring down the backs of your legs like liquid crystal. And on 3, letting your feet relax as they sink into the floor. And on 2, bringing your body back to harmony, just dreaming, drifting, dropping down easily and safely. And on 1, your body so relaxed, breathing in deeply. And then just noticing as you feel that sense of lightness, that I invite you to float up out of your body, floating higher and higher, and get in touch with your timeline. Seeing that busy time stream of yours down there, intuitively you'll know which direction is your future and which direction is your past. And today we're going to float all the way back along your time stream. We're going to go all the way back to the very first time you experienced that level of fear. And you don't have to consciously know. Your unconscious mind will just give you a sense of that moment so that we can explore the root cause of that limiting fear. So again, floating all the way along your time stream, going all the way back to that event, and your unconscious mind will take us to that moment in time where you experience that fear. So in a moment, not now, I'm going to count from 3 to 1, and you're going to drop down into that event to see what you saw, to hear what you heard, and to get in touch with that past life. So we're finding yourself on 3, 2, 1, dropping down into that event. And as you're in that event, to see what you saw, hear what you heard, and to feel what you felt, take notice. The first thing that comes to mind, are you inside or outside? Is it daytime or nighttime? What's happening around you? And as you just become the observer of this past life, I want you to just get a sense. Are you male or female? What age comes to mind? As we get a snapshot of this event, what are the people doing around you? Or are you by yourself? Just allow that information to come in easily, just taking notice of what's around you, and start to explore this limiting emotion. What's happening that caused you to be so fearful? You're finding yourself in an event that feels too heavy or too consuming. Just want you to float up above that event, taking in a deep breath. And notice as you move higher above that event, that moment down there becomes so small and so insignificant. And you can look upon that event in that past life with a new perspective, allowing your unconscious mind to get a bit of a snapshot of what's happening down there to create that fear. As you're experiencing that, observing that, I want your unconscious mind just to dial up your senses to discover anything else that you need to know. Now, from this higher perspective, it's interesting. I want you to notice that you have a remote control in your hand that allows us to move forwards and backwards in that lifetime. You want to now imagine going all the way back to childhood in that lifetime. I want you to find yourself pressing rewind, going all the way back to when you were a child in that past life. And as you drop down into that event, I want you to explore, where's Mum? Where's Dad? Do you have any siblings? What kind of lifestyle do they have? What is your role? And how do you keep yourself busy? Is there anything else that you need to be aware of? Now let's get hold of that remote again. And this time I want you to press fast forward, but staying in that lifetime. And I want your unconscious mind to float up above that event. And I ask your unconscious mind to move us forward in that lifetime to help us gain clarity on that limiting fear. So finding yourself moving forward in that lifetime, and then the unconscious mind presses stop on that remote. And one more time, we're going to drop down into that event to better understand the consequences, the cause, and the effect of this fear. So dropping down into that next event to better understand this fear. Just asking your unconscious mind to allow us to understand what we need to know to resolve and dissolve this limiting emotion, this fear. Where are you? What's the temperature like? Is there anybody there with you? And if so, who are they in this lifetime? If you're alone, what's caused you to be here? In this event, did you speak up or were you silent? Did you trust somebody or not trust somebody? Did your intuition signal to you that this was going to cause a problem? Did you listen to your intuition? Or did you override it? As your unconscious mind is providing you the clarity that you need to move forward in this life, I want you to find yourself floating up above that event, floating up higher and higher. And this time, with that remote control, we're going to float all the way to that death scene. Now, you've done plenty of past lives, so you've done plenty of death scenes. And what we're going to do is we're going to access the learnings that we need to be able to gain that clarity from that lifetime. So as we're above that death scene, I want you to look down there and explore, how did you die? Was it an illness? Was it an injury? Were you killed? And how old were you when you died? Is anybody with you? And how do you feel about that death? As we're at that event, I just want to make sure that you're directly above that event so that that death scene down there is so small and so insignificant. But from this higher perspective, we now ask your unconscious mind to give us the learnings of which will allow that fear to resolve and dissolve effortlessly. So as you're above that event, in that learning position, trusting the first thing that comes to mind, what are the learnings from that lifetime? What was left incomplete in that lifetime? And how does this connect to this current life? Knowing that you had that fearful event and that limiting emotion, what are you supposed to learn from that fear? Now, some people may get positive learnings, those aha moments, and some people may get learnings that seem quite negative. Some people may say, "Oh, I learnt not to trust people." We may say, "I learnt that I shouldn't put myself in tricky situations." But knowing that we're working on the limiting emotion of fear, I want you to check in about the learnings about your intuition. Knowing that you experienced that event, why didn't you trust your intuition? stopped you from having that discernment? And what are the learnings that will help you move forward in this life? Now that you've gained that clarity, it's now time to prepare to come back to now, bringing with you those new learnings, the aha moments. Because in a moment, not now, I'm going to ask you to start to journey back to this moment. And you'll have no signs of tiredness, no sense of drowsiness. And in fact, with this clarity, you'll come back to this lifetime feeling more awake, more alert, and more switched on to trusting yourself, trusting your body, trusting your mind, and trusting your intuition. So, with that, I invite you now to travel all the way back to this moment, coming all the way back to the body. And on 5, allowing your energy to come back into the body, back into your feet, back into your hands, back into your legs, back into your forearms. And on 4, as the energy goes all the way through your knees, your thighs, your elbows, your upper arms. And on 3, the energy goes up through the central part of your body, heart rate, blood pressure, everything coming back to nice healthy levels. And on 2, the energy goes all the way up throughout your head, your face, almost back to the surface. And on 1, in your own time, big breath in, head held high, coming all the way back now, wiggling those fingers and toes. And when you're ready, opening your eyes to a whole new you. Mm. Okay, so now is a good time to reach for a glass of water. You may want to go for a walk. You may want to journal. But I do invite you to explore the themes of the past life that you've just experienced. Do you know any of those characters in this lifetime? Think about exploring the learnings that apply to this lifetime and what can you do, what new choices are available so that you can create the shift and the transformation that you want. And then just check in again what you can do differently. So, past lives is spectacular, but now you've got to put things in action to prove to yourself that things are going to shift and adjust and change. Because believe me, the time streams are now available to you where new possibilities are open to create. It's a really fun time. So I hope you enjoyed this past life experience. Next, we're going to go on a different timeline journey and to resolve something interesting, but most importantly, to discover something amazing about you. I'm Claire Chancellor, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.